If you believe you're merely overthinking, pause and reconsider. What you're actually experiencing is hypervigilance, your brain locked into survival mode, constantly scanning your environment for threats, real or imagined. This isn't about having too many thoughts. It's about your nervous system sounding alarms even when there's no danger to be found. This relentless mental noise is exhausting and isolating. It feels like your mind won't stop racing, trapping you in a loop of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. But this isn't just a quirk of personality or a bad habit. It's your body's trauma response misfiring, hijacking your ability to relax and think clearly. Understanding overthinking as a trauma response changes everything. It shifts the conversation from blaming yourself for thinking too much to recognizing a deeply ingrained survival mechanism that needs attention, care, and rewiring. This awareness is the first step toward breaking free from the cycle. So before you chastise yourself for overanalyzing, ask, what is my brain trying to protect me from? How long have I been living in this state of heightened alert? Hypervigilance is a survival mechanism born from trauma or prolonged stress. When your brain has experienced real or perceived danger repeatedly, it learns to remain constantly alert, scanning the environment for threats. This heightened state was crucial for your safety when danger was immediate and present. It's your brain's way of saying, stay awake, stay alive. Without this response, survival in those moments would have been impossible. However, the very system designed to protect you can become your greatest burden when it remains stuck in overdrive long after the threat has passed. Your brain continues to interpret ordinary, neutral stimuli as potential dangers, keeping your nervous system in a chronic state of alertness. This persistent activation disrupts your ability to relax, rest, or feel safe in everyday life. One of the most visible signs of hypervigilance is racing thoughts. Your mind doesn't shut off. It jumps from one worry to another, scanning endlessly for what could go wrong. This flood of thoughts isn't about problem solving. It's a byproduct of your brain trying to anticipate and prevent harm. But this constant mental chatter exhausts your cognitive resources, making it harder to focus or engage fully with the present moment. Alongside racing thoughts, hypervigilance triggers intense anxiety. Your body remains keyed up, muscles tense, heart rate elevated, ready to react. This anxiety isn't just in your head, it's a biological response deeply wired into your system. Feeling anxious in safe situations can feel confusing and frustrating, but it's your body's attempt to prepare for danger that no longer exists. Difficulty focusing is another common consequence. When your brain is busy scanning for threats, it can't dedicate full attention to tasks or relationships. This fragmented focus makes daily functioning more challenging and can fuel feelings of inadequacy or self-criticism. Yet these struggles aren't a personal failing. They're symptoms of your nervous system working overtime. Understanding that you're not simply overthinking is liberating. You're not lazy, weak, or flawed. You are operating from a survival state that once saved your life. This realization shifts the narrative from self-blame to self-compassion, opening the door for healing. It invites you to treat your hypervigilance not as an enemy, but as a message, a signal that your system needs recalibration. The path forward involves learning how to gently retrain your brain and nervous system to recognize safety again. This takes time, patience, and often professional support. Grounding techniques, mindfulness, trauma-informed therapy, and building safe relationships are key tools in calming the overactive survival response. With consistent care, you can reclaim calm and presence in your life. Recognizing hypervigilance as both a gift and a curse is the first step toward transforming it from a source of suffering into a catalyst for growth. Hypervigilance doesn't just keep your body on edge. It fundamentally distorts how you interpret the world around you. When your brain is constantly scanning for danger, it tends to misread neutral or even positive events as potential threats. A casual glance can feel like judgment. A friendly comment might seem loaded with hidden criticism. This skewed perception is your brain's way of prioritizing safety, erring on the side of caution, but it pulls you away from reality. This heightened threat sensitivity feeds a mental trap of dwelling obsessively on what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. Your mind rehearses possible dangers endlessly, spinning stories about what might go wrong long before anything actually happens. This isn't paranoia in the clinical sense, it's a survival strategy that became chronic. While this scanning can feel like preparation, it often leads to exhaustion and immobilization instead of action. Because your perception is filtered through fear, trusting yourself and others becomes a monumental challenge. You may question your own judgment constantly. Am I overreacting? Am I missing something? Or doubt others' intentions and reliability. Trust, which requires vulnerability and openness, feels risky or impossible. This erodes relationships and deepens feelings of isolation, creating a lonely cycle. These distortions don't exist in isolation, they feed into each other, creating a feedback loop that sustains hypervigilance and anxiety. The more you misinterpret and ruminate, the more your brain stays locked in survival mode. This loop can feel paralyzing, making even simple decisions or social interactions overwhelming. You're caught in a spiral that feels out of your control. Recognizing this cycle is critical. It shifts blame away from you. These are not flaws or failures, but predictable consequences of a nervous system that's learned to protect you too well. Understanding this allows space for compassion and curiosity rather than frustration and shame. Healing begins by gently questioning these distorted perceptions. Mindfulness practices, grounding exercises, and therapy techniques like cognitive restructuring can help you identify when your mind is hijacked by fear-driven interpretations. Over time, this awareness creates distance between your true reality and the lens of hypervigilance. So I encourage you to ask yourself, what patterns of distorted thinking do you notice most often? How might you begin to test these thoughts against reality rather than accepting them as facts? Understanding how hypervigilance warps perception is a powerful step toward breaking the cycle, reclaiming clarity, trust, and freedom from fear's grip. When your mind races and anxiety floods your body, it's tempting to tell yourself to stop overthinking or just relax. But these words, while well-meaning, often backfire. It's like trying to extinguish a wildfire by wishing it away. Your nervous system isn't something you can switch off with sheer willpower or positive thinking. It's deeply wired to remain alert because, in your body's experience, danger is still present. This persistent state of alertness is rooted in biology, not mindset. Trauma or chronic stress rewires your nervous system to prioritize survival above all else, keeping your body and brain ready to react to threats. Simply telling yourself to relax doesn't address this underlying wiring. It's like asking your muscles to relax while your brain remains on high alert. The disconnect between mind and body often leads to frustration and self-blame. Effective regulation requires intentional interventions that target the nervous system itself. Techniques like grounding exercises, focusing on the present moment through senses, help interrupt the cycle of racing thoughts and activate your body's safety response. Breath work, especially slow, deep breathing, signals to your brain that you're no longer in immediate danger, calming the flood of stress hormones. Trauma-informed therapies, such as somatic experiencing or EMDR, work directly with the body's stored trauma. helping your nervous system relearn safety at a fundamental level. These approaches recognize that healing isn't just mental, but embodied, a process of retraining your brain and body to coexist in calm rather than conflict. Understanding this helps reframe your experience. Struggling to calm down isn't a failure or lack of willpower. It's a sign your nervous system needs care and targeted tools, not judgment. This perspective opens space for self-compassion and realistic expectations on your healing journey. Ask yourself, what strategies help you feel grounded in your body rather than stuck in your head? How might you begin to support your nervous system's natural ability to relax gently and patiently? Recognizing why calming down isn't simple is key to shifting from frustration to effective healing, inviting you to meet your nervous system's needs with wisdom and care. Healing hypervigilance starts with learning to recognize when your nervous system shifts into survival mode. Mindfulness is a foundational tool here, not as a demand to control or stop your thoughts, but as a way to notice them without judgment or resistance. When you observe your racing mind or physical tension with curiosity instead of fear or frustration, you create space between yourself and the hypervigilant state. This distance softens the grip of automatic reactivity. Grounding exercises further anchor you in the present moment, pulling your awareness away from imagined threats toward immediate reality. Techniques like the 5-4-3-2-1 method engage your senses, identifying 5 things you see, 4 you feel, 3 you hear, 2 you smell, and 1 you taste, bringing your mind gently back to the here and now. Slow, controlled breathing complements this by activating the parasympathetic nervous system, signaling safety to your body and helping to reduce the flood of stress hormones. Creating safe routines and environments is another vital step. Your nervous system learns through repetition and predictability. Consistent sleep schedules, nourishing meals, physical movement, and calming activities like reading or nature walks help build a baseline of safety. Reducing exposure to chaos or toxic relationships also supports this process. These habits aren't mere comforts, they're crucial signals to your brain that it's okay to relax. Seeking trauma-informed therapy is often necessary to address the root causes of hypervigilance. Modalities like eye movement desensitization and reprocessing or somatic experiencing work directly with how trauma is stored in your body and brain, helping to resolve unprocessed memories and regulate your nervous system. This professional support provides a container where healing can happen safely, with expert guidance tailored to your unique experience. It's important to remember that this is not a quick-fix journey. Rewiring your brain and nervous system takes time, often months or years, and requires patience with setbacks and progress alike. Healing hypervigilance means retraining your survival instincts to recognize safety where it truly exists, a profound relearning process that rewrites patterns embedded deeply within your biology. Along the way, cultivating self-compassion is crucial. When your nervous system reacts strongly or old patterns resurface, meet yourself with kindness rather than criticism. Understand that hypervigilance was once a lifesaver, and your body is simply trying to protect you. This compassionate mindset softens resistance, making it easier to engage with healing tools consistently. Building a support network also bolsters this work. Trusted friends, support groups, or communities that understand trauma and hypervigilance can provide validation, encouragement, and a sense of belonging. Healing doesn't happen in isolation. Connection is a vital part of reclaiming safety and trust. Beginning healing from hypervigilance is a courageous act of reclaiming your nervous system and, ultimately, your life. It's a slow, steady return to presence, safety, and peace. What you've been calling overthinking isn't a flaw or weakness. It's your brain's desperate, deeply ingrained attempt to keep you safe. This understanding is transformative. It shifts the weight of blame away from you and opens the door to genuine healing. You're not broken. You're responding to survival signals that have outlived their usefulness. Calming hypervigilance is possible, but it demands patience, self-compassion, and the right strategies. There's no quick fix or simple switch to flip. Instead, it's a gradual process of retraining your nervous system, learning to recognize safety, and nurturing presence in your mind and body. Each step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Stop battling yourself for overthinking. That fight only strengthens the cycle of anxiety and exhaustion. Instead, redirect that energy toward reclaiming your peace, fighting for a mind that feels safe, calm, and grounded. This is the work that leads to freedom. Remember, healing is not just surviving, it's reclaiming your mind and life on your terms. You have the strength to do this. The peace you seek is within reach.